Hi, guys. Welcome to our daily encounter. The New Testament uh, ties Adam to Jesus multiple times. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15, Adam is called the first Adam, and Jesus is called the last Adam. Also in Romans chapter 4, there's this comparison by contrast made between Jesus and Adam. And then also in Ephesians chapter 5, you have a tie made between Adam and his acquiring a wife and Jesus in acquiring the church and the relationship that he has with the church. In Ephesians chapter 5, there is a quote from Genesis chapter 2, which talks about the time when Adam received a wife. And it says in verse 31 of Ephesians 5, "For this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and shall be joined to his to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This mystery is great, but I'm speaking with reference to Christ and the church." And there in that whole context, there's a larger context there that really ties in what Jesus has done for the church and how that should relate to how a husband treats his wife. And so these two individuals are tied together through this idea of acquiring a bride, a wife. And so when we read in Genesis chapter 2, and what we read in Genesis chapter 2 is a man in a garden who falls into a deep sleep. The Lord takes a rib out of his side and creates a woman, and the woman becomes his wife. What we have in John chapter 19 in our reading today is Jesus being placed on a cross, put in a deep sleep, so to speak, put to death, and then having his side pierced. We read about the Roman soldiers coming, wanting to make sure all the people who were crucified were dead, and they break the legs of the two thieves. But when they come to Jesus, they see that he's already dead, and they pierce his side with the spear, and out comes blood and water. And so you have Jesus asleep, dead, so to speak, with blood and water coming out of his side. And this blood and water is symbolic of what it would take to produce a bride for him, that is, to produce the church. The blood, of course, speaks of redemption. It speaks of the blood of the Passover lamb, by which we have a standing before God. The wrath of God is passed over us because of the blood of Christ. We have the forgiveness of sins, redemption through the forgiveness of sins, Ephesians chapter 1. The water can be symbolic of life. It's not just enough for us to have a standing before God now, but also for us to have life and to receive life from Jesus, and can point to the water that came out of the rock in the wilderness. The Israelites not only experienced the Passover lamb by which they were redeemed, but also they experienced the water that came out of the rock that produced for them life. And so Christ has produced both redemption and life, and that redemption and that life is now, or was, the very foundation, the very issue by which the church could be produced and become the bride of Christ. And it's interesting, too, that after this happens, after his side is pierced, this water and blood comes out, he's placed in a garden, in a tomb in a garden, which, again, points back to the Garden of Eden. And so through Jesus Christ now, we have both redemption and we have life. And now we can be his bride. We can be married to him in a sense, in which now we are fully supplied with everything that we need to walk in fellowship with him, in unity with him, in relationship with him throughout our days. And so we should really praise the Lord and thank God that out of the side came the water and the blood, which again was symbolic of the fact that Christ has supplied both the redemption through his blood and the life and the water to cause us now to have a standing before God, to have life before God, and have everything supplied for us so that we can live before God and that we can live before him forever in this special relationship. So let's be thankful today for that. Let's live that out in our daily life and share that with other people so that they too can come into the fold and come into this relationship that has been fully supplied by Christ. So with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.